Hello, universe. Welcome to my world. We do Angelina Jordan videos on this channel, directly or indirectly. And the most usual format is when we take one song and we listen to many different versions before hearing Angelina's version, just to put her talent in perspective. But sometimes we go off in all different directions, and today we're taking a deep dive, a very deep dive, and hopefully you can bear with me on this one. I did hesitate about making today's video because it is a bit of a stretch. With a talent like Angelina has, she must have a remarkable story to her to be the singer that she is today. And so Angelina, just like you and I and everyone else, has many different factors influencing us to become who we are and how we are. Think of a tree with all the different roots contributing to the growth and development. There's family. There's been a lot of attention paid to Angelina's family and the support and love they give her. Just as family influences you and I, it's a massive factor in one's life. Then there's also the culture. She grew up in Norway, and for these last years she's been living in LA. But she's also been influenced by the culture of Iran and Japan because of her family ties. And so Angelina has many different influences shaping who she is. But just as a tree has roots, sometimes the roots are hidden, sometimes the roots are not visible, and sometimes we have to look underground to see where these roots originate. And that's where we're going today. We're going to look for some hidden roots as shown in some of Angelina's original songs. Mary Zamani is Angelina's granny, and she is a massive influence on her and a major role model. And Mary grew up in Iran, and for the last 2,000 or 3,000 years in Iran, there existed a religion called Zoroastrianism. Many of you will not have heard this term before, but the main premise of this religion is the duality of good versus evil, or the balance of good versus evil, or the struggle between good and evil. And ultimately, there is the triumph of good over evil as well. Now, there's absolutely no evidence that Mary practices Zoroastrianism, but when she was speaking with Boris at one of the concerts, the conversation got round to comparative religion. And so Mary is certainly very aware of the spiritual nature of life, both in her poetry and in her discussions and in her artwork. There's no evidence that Mary practices Zoroastrianism. But if you grow up in a culture where there's been a religion ongoing for 2,000 or 3,000 years, it permeates the air. The thinking is everywhere. For example, it's like the way the Chinese understand yin-yang, or the way reincarnation is understood in India. It's almost part of the culture. It goes deep and it gets everywhere. And so the way Mary has understood the duality and the balance between good and evil, this is something that we can also trace in Angelina's songs and in her lyrics. Now, when Angelina wrote and performed Shield, she very much captures the image of good versus evil. When she sings,
"Surround me with angels, don't let them go."
Angels are not just referring to her fans, but it's referring to having a shield of goodness around her, as opposed to when she's singing,
"Shadows they whisper, stare at my soul,"
which very clearly invokes the concept of evil. And so it is a struggle between good and evil, which she incorporates into the song very clearly. When Michael Asher did the painting around this particular song, he captured the fortress of goodness with Angelina in the middle, as opposed to the hidden eyes in the corner staring. And there's another line from the song as well, where Angelina is singing about those in the shadows.
"Keep me from strangers without good intent."
What's interesting about that line is it appears in some of the versions of Shield, but not in all of them. So I'm wondering if and why that particular line might have been deleted or rearranged. There's another song where this duality and balance is highlighted as well, and that's Seventh Heaven. Angelina very directly contrasts bitterness with hope, which is almost a way of contrasting optimism with pessimism.
Oh, you know a lot of bitterness. There is nothing to do about it. Life should be, live with hope.
And also Angelina very much captures the struggle between self-doubt and perfectionism. Self-doubt is when she's looking at the mirror, questioning who she is and how she is, as opposed to the concept of seventh heaven, which is the attainment of perfection.
I see myself in the mirror. I wanna love the person looking back at me. Staring on my shoulders. Falls heavy.
There's another original song that Angelina wrote, aged 11, What is Life? Listen and compare the two following lines.
Maybe life is a warm and breeze from someone safe. Maybe life is a warm and breeze.
If she had sung only the warm embrace line, then it would be only showing the positive, reinforcing good aspect. But by adding the words someone safe implies that not everyone is safe and that sometimes there are those without good intent in the background. But this whole video today is leading up to the ending for Angelina singing this song, What is Life? Because when she sings about good and bad, she uses those exact words. And the nature of Angelina's talent is she highlights the word good. She makes it much longer and she puts a beautiful riff and run through it to make the concept beautiful. And then when she sings the word bad, it's relatively short and in the shadow. It's the way she sees good and bad, and it captures what should be the balance between them. And in case we missed it the first time, she sings the same line a second time with the same balance.
Love and life with all the good and bad. And the good and bad.
One more thing. Sometimes when you're alert to symbolism, you can find a very rich vein. And with Angelina Jordan's repeat of the good and bad, when she sings the word good, not only does she lengthen it, but at the end of it, she hums. Now, to me, that can represent delicious or good, but on another level, there is symbolism there as well, because goodness sometimes cannot be put into words. Let's hear it again.
And the good and bad.
Over the years, I've become a people person. I really like people. I find everyone is interesting, everyone has a story to tell, everyone inside is a kaleidoscope of factors, and it's a continual source of fascination for me. Angelina is a very public face, of one of the most fascinating stories of development and artistic talent that I have found in many years. And I have considered it my mission to highlight this and bring it to the surface as best I can. Okay, gang, I'm out of here. I'll catch you later. Bye.